Great morning, everyone. How are you all doing? Happy Friday. We have made it through the week. Hallelujah. I hope you all had a good week. My week wasn't too bad. I can't complain. But I'm going to go ahead and get into today's topic for the sake of time. Mistake number one, falling in love with the outside instead of the inside. Sitting up talking to people who, speaking with people, and why is it that they feel like their marriage is failing? Why is it that, they feel like that they may not make it, or they may end up in a divorce or whatever. Of course, I'm the type of person, I like to ask some in-depth questions, some truthful questions that'll make you think, And so one of the biggest problems that I know I've seen and that I see is that people fall in love with the outside, but they don't fall in love with what's on the inside of an individual. So that's mistake number one, falling in love with things on the outside, love or lust, instead of what's on the inside of that individual. So you can say this video maybe for singles, but you can also say that for those who are married, that this video, maybe it'll make you think. What did I fall in love with? Good morning, Simone, because that's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to love, right? That's what the Bible tells us to do. Especially in the New Testament. You can't say, oh, that's just some Old Testament stuff. No, that's some New Testament stuff, because all you see is love, love, love. So those who are married, you ain't got to put your business out there. But when you fell in love with your husband or your wife, did you fall in love? Were you in lust? Lord, please don't start nothing on this video, whatever. Can you honestly assess that and ask yourself, what did you fall in love with? What was it about your husband or your wife that made you want to say, I do? Now, that's a good question to ask. That's good. You can drop them good old nuggets down at the bottom for somebody else, because it may help a single out, somebody who's desiring to be married again. What was it? Now, what we tend to do is we look on the outside of an individual. We look at their body makeup, especially men. I understand God created y'all to be physical beings, but you instantly fall in love or lust with what you see on the outside. So when I mean outside, I'm talking about, is that body banging? If it's a female, is that, meaning if you're looking at a female for the males, or females may want to say, well, I want to know if his body is fit. Is he physically in shape, or whatever the case may be? Looking at the material possessions. We look at all the things that when you are married in the long run, you find out it doesn't even matter. That's not something that should sustain your marriage. You see what I'm saying? Now, looking at all the material things, that's where lust come in. You start lusting. Sometimes people start lusting after the material things instead of looking at that person on the inside. Now, let's check out some insides. Let's see what I'm talking about here. What is their heart about? What is their heart condition? What do they love? What are some of the things that they love to do? See, we don't understand. When we take the time to get to know a person's heart, then we're getting to know them. Some may say, because I know I was kind of like one of these people. Some may say, I try to take the time to get to know his heart. I get to know a heart, but they got up such a brick wall of defense that they never let their guard down. Well, I will tell you, because another mistake that we make is we think, and I've said this before, that we could change that individual. Oh, I'm not worried about it. They acting like that now, but when we get married, girl, I'm going to change him. I heard so many women saying that. I've never heard too many guys, but hey, maybe it's a guy on here that said that you done said that, or whatever. You might admit to it. However, what is that person's heart condition like? What are some of the things that they like to do? Do they like to fish? Do they like to hunt? Do they self-care? Do they do things, hey, every few months me and the homeboys get together and we go do this, whatever, what is it that they like? Because when you learn a person's heart, I'm telling you, if their heart is hard, then that's when, not in the beginning, because you might chase them off, but you might ask, okay, if you don't mind me asking, I'm noticing that you got a hard heart, that you have a wall built up. If you don't mind me asking, why is that? Because I'm telling you, if you're not ready and prepared and you don't know, once them layers of onions start peeling away and you get to the inside to really make you cry, it's going to probably be some heavy stuff that you wasn't even ready to deal with. But because, he'll be all right, I'm just going to marry him. He got a house. He seemed like he doing good, or he got a degree. So that's something that I can work with, or whatever. And then at the same token, this is something important that we got to look at when you're looking at the inside of a person. What is that mental status like? Now, see, that's something that's really important nowadays. People are so busy. I'm going to tell y'all this, right? I'm going to tell y'all this. I remember talking to somebody, and I ain't telling nobody business or anything like that, but I remember talking to somebody, and they was talking about how the family took care of this individual, and the individual had mental issues. But as they got older, they started, working with it and things like that. And as long as the individual was on their medication, they was good. They, you didn't even see the mental issues or whatnot. And then what happened from there is they end up getting married. And when they end up getting married, the family didn't even tell the individual, hey, you're marrying somebody with some mental issues. You know what I'm saying? We instantly fall in love or lust. Good morning, Manita. We instantly fall in love or lust with somebody, but we do not take the proper time. Like somebody said a couple days ago when I did a video saying, I don't understand why people rush into marriage. Why do they rush relationships? Good morning, Shirley. Why are you rushing it? So what I was just telling y'all with that situation, the person was mentally disturbed. You see what I'm saying? And the family didn't say nothing. It was more so like, shh, here you go. We're going to go ahead and push this joker right on off on you. We've been taking care of this joker for 20 something years. This is now your problem, which was very unfair to that man. It was very unfair. And so what ended up happening, because the person thought they was good because they was on their medication for some time. They weren't taking their medication because they were so used to their family assisting them to, this is your time to take your medication or whatever. And that joker ended up flipping out. You heard me pulling out butcher knives and everything. That's why I say it is important to know the inside. What is the person's mental like? Have they went through a lot of things in a mental state or whatever? Get to asking some questions. If you ask that individual some simple questions, do they get highly irritated? Okay, what you get mad for? Like, I mean, for real, I just asked you, did you want some cheese on your sandwich or not? And you flipping and you acting a straight fool. Like, what's going on? You know what I'm saying? And then also, not that you trying to snitch and snoop, but you might want to ask not some direct questions to the family, but hey, sister, the sister, tell me about your brother. What is the type of person, and pray that they tell you the truth. What are some of the things that he like? Because I just want to surprise him from time to time. Not to say that you're lying, but you're getting to know who that person really is. In this day and age, what I'm seeing with this social media and all this other kind of stuff like that, it seemed like the issues that people have are being more and more masked because it's so important to put on this fake facade like everything is going okay in your marriage, everything is going okay in your life or whatever. I know I was talking to a good girlfriend yesterday, and we was talking about speaking of someone, not talking about the person, but mentioning somebody that we knew mutual. And she said, well, when I look at that person's Facebook page, it seems like they always happy. You can't go by what you see, especially when you're talking about investing into a marriage. Take your time. It is okay to ask those deep questions and get to know that person as time go along. So, like I always say, for me, I fell in love with my husband's heart. Other people were looking at outside. I don't know if you and him look like y'all would make a good couple. Y'all match. Y'all go together. Who cared what we look like? I was wanting to know who he was. I wanted to know who I was stepping into, because keeping in mind being a single parent, it was very important. This is somebody I'm going to expose my child to. And see, that's another problem where we have issue, is because we're so longing to jump and be into a relationship, or to say that I got a bae or I got a boo or whatever the case may be, that you're not even taking the proper research as a parent. Baby, you need to be on that. Like when somebody stole your money out your bank account, when you know you had $5,000 more in there, baby, you gonna research that, hire a private investigator and everything. So what are you doing when it comes to protecting your children if you're a single parent? So I got to know a little bit about you. What you say about you? Where you from? Oh, Naples. Okay, let me go ahead and look that up. Is that really a one? You need to verify that some of the things that's being told to you is actually true. But no, we fall in love / lust with the things that we see on the outside. And, I'm not worried about it. And the things the material possessions that we see. Oh, they set up right nice. They can take care of me and my kids. Wait a minute, boo-boo. Do you see what's going on with these kids in society today? Do you see how many kids are coming up missing on your news feed, on the news, or whatever the case may be? Know who you are messing with and have a relationship. There used to be a rule that I used to have. I had this rule that I would not introduce anybody to my child unless I knew them. And in order to get to know them, I really had to know them. Because that's one thing I said off the bat. Look, I got children. And until you to pass my test, you're not going to meet my child. That's what you're not going to do. So quit being so easy to fall in love with the things that you see on the outside. Oh, he making 6 figures. Okay, did he had to rob Peter to pay Paul just to get to that position? Was he stabbing people in their back for the love of money? I mean, what are you falling in love with? That you're right, Simone. You got to ask the right questions. If you're in a marriage, and be truthful to yourself. You ain't got to tell me, honey, but be truthful to yourself. Why did you fall in love with your spouse? Why did you fall in love with your husband or your wife? Was it because of things that they can bring to the table? Because I was a lowly old E4. My husband was E5. He was just coming out of divorce, and she was trying to take him for everything he got. And that's another thing. People jump straight up into it for money. Or, well, look like he treated her right or whatever, so I'm going to jump into it. No. Ask some questions. If you don't mind me asking, we've been dating for 6 to 8 months. Can you enlighten me as to why it was that y'all got a divorce? What was going on? What was the situation? Baby, you best believe, because we as women, let us keep it real, somebody. We are natural born detectives. We find out what we want to find out. I'm telling you, you can lie to yourself and say you don't, but we do. And so not only was he telling me what happened, other people were coming up in general conversations and they was talking to him. Man, Soren King, man, it looked like you doing good. You got your girlfriend right here, whatever. Man, that crazy thing that you was married to, they were validating. And not that he was coercing them to validate. They were validating the things that he was telling me about why he came out. Because I want to know. I'm not going to inherit anybody's mess. Good morning, Kevin. And that's what we tend to do. We tend to inherit somebody's mess. Ask yourself, no knock to anybody. You've been married 2, 3, 4, 5 times. Get to asking some questions, because I promise you, good morning, Jasana, I promise you, it's a common denominator as to why the individual has been married 50 times over. Not to say that you're a bad person. Some people get to spouse number 5 or spouse number 6 and they start maturing and growing up and saying, okay, this is my husband, this is my wife, whatever, I need to make this thing work. But we need to get to asking some questions, honey. We got the internet. It is too accessible to go in clickety-clack, and find out some things. I'm telling you, quit being so easy. And another thing that people do, because I've heard men say this, oh, yep, man, because, okay, I'm going to be transparent. Y'all know me. Man, did you hit that? Because that's what they say, okay? So if you got kids listening, they need to get out the room. Man, did you hit that? Yeah, man, I sure did, man. I might have to make her my wife. Okay, you falling in love with the physical. You don't know nothing else about this person or whatever, but the 10 o'clock wonder is good, okay? No, we need to come out of the shallow waters and we need to get into the deep. Slowly start walking into the deep to find out who it is that we are talking about, that we're going to give our vows and commit our life to for the rest of our life. No, let's peel back some onion layers. Who is this joker? Yes, single mothers, I understand, baby, you tired. I understand you probably want you somebody or whatever the case may be. I understand that, single mamas, but guess what? You can't expose your child to everybody, because just like you want you somebody because you tired of raising these kids by themselves, somebody want a place to lay their head, to get some food or whatever the case may be, and they don't have to work too hard to get it. All they got to throw you is a couple of I love you and girl, you sure looking good today. And then you just, oh, he loved me. And you putting all this stuff on social media. And then 2 months later, you got a new boo on social media or whatever the case may be. Cut it out. Get in prayer. God, show me this person. Is this the one that you have for me? God, please let me know if I'm lusting after this person, if I'm falling in love with some material possessions or whatever the case may be. Get before the Lord in prayer and wait for God to tell you what it is that you need to do. Trust in the Lord with with all thine heart. Lean not to your own understanding. Okay. Trust in the Lord. Okay. Seek ye first. Matthew 6:33. It's a lot of scriptures that tell us what to do, but we're not doing it because we're allowing our flesh to motivate us. Okay, nope. I don't care whatever they got to deal with. You done fell in love with this person because they making over $100,000 a year and they got all these material possessions, but they crazy. And then they got all these exes and kids and everything popping up, and you ain't even ready to deal with that. Then you mad at them. Why didn't you tell me? They not gonna tell you. You got to investigate and you got to throw that Holy Ghost on it. You heard me? I like that right there. Throw that Holy Ghost on it. Because I'm telling you, God is an all-knowing and an all-revealing God. You heard what I'm saying? So don't be falling in love with the outside. Get to know the inside. Get to know that heart and get to know that mental before you make major decisions to press forward. So I don't know if we're going to be having our show on Monday because this school and these midterms is kicking our backside, honey, and all this studying. But we'll let you know. So stay tuned with Marriage Mondays with the Kings. We might take this Monday off. Not sure yet, but we'll post it on our page. But y'all go ahead and have a blessed weekend. Don't let anybody steal your joy. Be a blessing to somebody, not a curse. And share this because it's free. You might bless somebody else. God bless.